How you doing, John? So this is one of our main vans, as seen in some of the videos. So on this one we've got a 60 horsepower Isuzu diesel engine, water cooled, which is run down, belt driven down to 40 horsepower. We don't need the full 60 horsepower. This has got a 27 litre per minute pump at 300 bar. This is the boiler, 30 litre coil. That's a 500 bar rated coil. This is the fuel tank for the boiler, and this is the fuel tank for the diesel engine. Hose reel, hydraulic reel there for the water fill hose, and that fills the tank up. The water tank's just there. That's 250 litres. So what's that? Probably 55, 60 gallon in US gallon, maybe. Not too sure on that. That just acts as a buffer tank. So the belt is the engine's belt driven to the pump and to an alternator, which supplies 240 volt electric, which in turn runs the boiler. So the fuel pump on the boiler, the motor for the boiler, which the fan is in there, obviously for cooling, blowing the smoke out, the heat out. This here is called a steam valve. Now what we do is we have the engine throttle, which we can regulate, and that'll drop the pressure and flow as well. But when we're running the boiler, we have to have the engine throttle full, because as the engine's running full throttle, we're getting enough power, as it states here. We need between 210 and 230 volt for the electric. Otherwise, if it's less than that, we won't get the electric, because the revs on the engine will be too low. So that becomes full, and this is why we have this steam valve, which is also called a needle valve. You can get them on eBay. We regulate that to get our desired pressure on the gauge. We tweak that, and what that does, it sends water back to the tank, which is bypassing. So it bypasses back through the tank and round. Emergency stop button, obviously key start, you give it heat in the morning. Unloader valve, that's your unloader valve, that's a K9 unloader. What else can I tell you? So on this one we have the exhaust going through the floor of the van, comes out underneath. The chimney for the boiler goes through the roof, and on the top is a Chinaman's hat, as such, into the back of the van here. Obviously cones, Mosmatic, tools, etc., whatever we need in there. This is the engine. This is the water tank, and inside the water tank, which is full at the moment, just under there is a float valve that shuts off. So the tap is actually on now, still turned on, but because the float valve's kicked in, that's why it's not overflowing. That's the hydraulic tank. That's to power, to give the oil to this hydraulic hose reel. That's just a kick plate, you know, just to cover that up so nothing gets lodged under the engine. There's nothing more I can tell you on this really. We've got another van which has got a similar setup to this, just built slightly different. This one is built better, so we are actually having plans to have that one rebuilt, so it's a bit more configured like this. And then we've got trailer systems, which are also hot systems. We've got cold water systems. But yeah, this is in the van, and if we put a lot more stuff inside, it actually takes us overweight with the van, with the regulations on the weight. So we try not to put as much stuff in as possible. You know, we can pull trailers with any extra stuff. Tow bar there. So yeah, this job here, we're cleaning the roof, garage roof, with the cherry picker, and quite a lot of moss. As you can see, it gets everywhere.